we are.
I have a question. The first question for John Cobb, and it's too bad Peter Dreyer is not in the room while we ask it, but John, you've been really pressing us to get involved with Pomona, and especially since they've declared themselves as a city of compassion. And if you could just elaborate, why do you think our involvement of the Cobb Institute with the city of Pomona is so important?
Okay, well, one of the major functions of the Cobb Institute, in my view, is to promote what we call ecological civilization. And that's a term that originated with the UN, but it's been picked up as an official goal only, or at least I only know of it, in China. But it means, it's based on the notion that our present society is unsustainable, and that the reasons it's unsustainable are manifold, but a very, very important one of those is that it is exhausting natural resources, destroying the fabric of nature. So we've already destroyed many, many thousands, perhaps hundreds of thousands of species. We don't know just what role they play. But we also know that we are exhausting fresh water. I think many people think of it simply as climate crisis. I think of it much more broadly as a crisis of the way in which human beings operate and its total inappropriateness to the needs of the living planet. So when we talk about an ecological civilization, we simply mean a civilization that does not continue to destroy our Earth, or make unlivable our Earth home. Other labels can be given. The Pope talked about interworld ecology. I think that has the same meaning, and if you like that phrase better, fine. But the point is, we are living in a time in history when our behavior as a human race is suicidal at present, and we quit living suicidally, but we still want a civilization. We want to build on the past and not simply erase it. We cannot go back to a kind of world that existed at one time where human beings were quite sustainable because they didn't have the ability to be destructive of their environment. They lived entirely in hunting and gathering communities. But anyway, my point is, to me, the goal of saving the human race from self-destruction or immiserating it is the most fundamental goal of all of us in the process community. And we have to then say, well, what are the places where positive things can take place that move us in that direction? And frankly, we can't find much of that at the national level, because national governments have been to such a large extent, have come under the control of the corporate world, and especially the financial corporations. And so then where can we find communities of people who are interested in moving toward a compassionate community? Compassion means you really want people to have a good life. And we know that the modern world has not been ending up at that point. So cities are actually the most dynamic source of hope today. For a long time, we all looked to nations, but national governments are not promising. But there are many cities in which creative work is going on. So I don't mean that everybody in the world should work for Pomona, but locally, Pomona is a great opportunity.